Growing up in Canada, my dad and a lot of my family worked in the steel mills, and when they would come home from work, we would watch TV. So MacGyver was one of the things that we always watched. He's always coming up with some kind of solution to escape from a room or to trap some bad guy or something like that. My college career, I was interested in doing electrical engineering and computer science, and I moved into physics. I wanted to write programs to simulate something, I didn't know what. And there was a faculty member there who was doing research in polymers and asked if I'd be interested in using the programming skills that I had that I wanted to use as part of the computer engineering program to study polymers. So that was the first time I looked at a material, was writing code to describe how polymers behave. I remember the first class I ever taught at Case. It's been a while since I'd taught. It was a completely new subject. It was a graduate course, so it was very technical. And I just started off on the chalkboard, kind of like I'd been taught and the way I'd done it before, and there's crazy mathematical expressions. I look at the faces and I see wide eyes and I see some people kind of looking down at their shoes, and I thought, okay, this is not working. I went home, I thought really hard. I thought back about good professors I'd had, and especially in the physics department, there were so many demonstrations. The very first physics class I ever took was a demonstration of a bunch of fleas carrying this giant, massive object on an air table, and the physics professor there, he was notorious for Bob's brush with death, where he built a giant Hot Wheels track that was bigger than him, and he sat under it and he released a bowling ball. They greased the bowling ball so it almost took his head off one time. So I thought about that, and I thought about demonstrations and the impact they had on me. I went to Giant Eagle, I bought a bunch of Skittles, because we were talking about mixing things together. It was probably 8 pounds of Skittles, and sat at my kitchen table with a spoon and sorted all of the flavors. And so we all know that Skittles mix together, and the next thing I thought was, okay, can I get candy to separate from each other? So I tried many different types of candy. I tried Whoppers and M&Ms. It turns out that Whoppers will separate if you put them in a container and shake it. The Skittles will mix, the Whoppers will separate to the top. So it was a perfect demonstration of things that go on with polymers. From there, I just started adding in more and more demonstrations as I think of them into the class. It shows that everything that we're talking about in terms of all the mathematics and things like that, it shows that it actually works. We can make predictions based on it. Case students actually are quite different. I noticed that. I can remember freshman students when I taught a SAGES class with some other faculty members in our department who'd had multivariable calculus as high school students. I never had multivariable calculus. They have a very strong technical background, which is nice for me because when I teach an upper division undergraduate course in thermodynamics, for example, I know that they have the foundation. I know that they have the math, they have the chemistry and all of this. So we can really jump in and talk about things that are highly technical. So I want students to have the confidence to look at these mathematical expressions and just say, whatever. I can just read off what this expression is telling me. They have this foundation, so if they have to figure out what a polymer is going to do or what a protein solution is going to do or something like that, the confidence to be able to know that they can solve that problem. But when a student takes the time to nominate a faculty member for something and say, take the time out of their day to put everything together and say, no, this person did something well, in my opinion, I'd like to recognize them for it. It's a very humbling and rewarding experience.